Hello, my name is Thea Cannon. So I have been asked by the Elohim of Yahweh to do what I'm about to do next, which doesn't come very easily for me. So I'm going to start with a prayer. Please, Yahweh, please, in Yeshua's mighty Kodesh name, by the mighty power of the Ruach HaKodesh, please, Yahweh, can you put your hedge of protection around me and guide me in what I need to say and speak for you? Guide me in what I need to say, please, Yahweh willing. So, as I was saying, this doesn't come easy because I've been a bit ashamed of my past, really, when you start to follow Yeshua, Jesus. But I'm not meant to feel shame for it. It's in my past. I've learned from it, and I am not that person anymore. I've changed. Little did I know that my past would help me to see things clearly in the future. So, in saying that, I have to reveal a bit of my past in order to show others how they could be being deceived. So, when I was younger, I've had a relationship with Elohim of Yahweh all my life without even knowing it until recently, in the last few years. I've been coming to understand that. Before that, I dabbled in seances and tarot cards and numerology and energies and anything you could think of, really. I sort of dabbled in it. Little did I know, back then I was trying to look for something supernatural, so to speak, because the idea of it sounded mystical, so to speak, and intrigued me, and I wanted to know about that. And the way it was being represented, I suppose, the supernatural at that time in our movies and through our books and so forth was witchcraft. And what was being advertised at that time was white witches or black witches. You could be a good witch, so to speak, which is very deceiving. They were almost trying to portray it as something good. And even when it came to tarot cards and that, I love the people that used to teach me these things. They were opening me up to the supernatural, but what they were doing was, now that I see clearly, was speaking with demons, fallen angels, relaying their information through these people to give their loved ones messages and so forth. Now, that sounds beautiful in a way if you want a message from your loved one, but it's not coming from your loved one. And that's what you got to realise. The demons, the fallen angels, they've been watching society for generations and generations, and they've been following families for generations and generations. They know all about your ancestors, what they did, and what they need to say to you in order to make you follow them, believe in them, put your belief in that, so that you get caught up in living your life just to speak to your deceased past one. They can keep you trapped in your past, and maybe you need to heal and move forward. It's a sad and horrible thing, but the demons and that will use their knowledge from watching society and history to portray themselves as loved ones. Why do I bring this up? Because I dabbled in seances and I had some really bad experiences. One of them, or the one that really goes into my memory, I was only 12, 13 at the time. You know, it was a fun thing to do. All of our mates making our own Ouija board. For some reason, it worked. Every time I was in the room or went near a seance or a Ouija board, that glass would move. And, you know, we were all skeptical, so we'd all get each other to lift our fingers off to see who was moving the glass. We'd be watching the glass. That glass was moving itself. And the things that they used to say. Now, this one experience that I had a boyfriend at the time. And this demon came across into the seance and proceeded to pick on me and made up a bullshit story. Told me that he was my husband from a past life and that my name had always been Thea in previous lives, and he had been following me through every life that I had, and he'd been killing my husbands. Why? Because supposedly all these generations back that I was born, because I keep reincarnating into Thea again and again, he was in love with me. He was a king apparently, and he was in love with me and caught me in bed with another man. He had me beheaded, and he's been killing my husbands ever since. Apparently I turned him gay too. So this was all laid on me in this seance, telling me that I'm always been there and things like this. So then that got me questioning about reincarnation. Have I been here before? But I did my own research and I found out there was never any King Louis with a wife by the name of Thea that he had beheaded. So that was just the demons playing through that seance, trying to get to me. Did work. My boyfriend at the time shot himself and he left me soon after. He didn't like knowing that every husband apparently I'd had in previous lives had been killed off as soon as he married me. It's a pretty shocking revelation to come out with in a seance. And, you know, there was a friend of mine at the seance too who really didn't want to be there and started getting scared. Now, this demon started picking on her flat out and telling her that she had to get out of the room and get out now. Anyway, she got to leave the room, take her finger off and leave the room. And at the end of that seance, the glass flew off the fucking table and hit the wall and smashed. That was one of my first introductions to a seance. But for some reason, I didn't get scared off and decided to dabble even more, didn't I? So, fast forward a few years, 10 years or more later, and I go into a shop, a toy shop for kids. And what do I find? Ouija boards. Easy to get now. I don't even have to worry about making my own. They're available in a toy store, age from 7 up. Delightful, hey? Oh, so I brought myself one. But I'd also been told by the Elohim of Yahweh, because of this previous experience, that the only way that they could get to you was allowing that fear to build in your head and thinking that they had power over you. They told me that as a human, I have power over them. They have no power over me. The only power that they can have over me is if I feed into their bullshit and into their fears. So I got taught that too. I am more powerful than all the fucking spirit world put together. And they have no power over me. The only power they can have is in my thoughts and me thinking they can, but they can't. Written in scriptures. So that was my introduction to seances and so forth. So yes, I do believe you can contact the evil spirits. You're creating a portal to them. You're opening yourself up to them. And you're opening yourself up to them playing with your thoughts. And that's how they cling on to you and stay to you, because you start fearing what they said, and then they start feeding into that fear and making you fear them even more, to the point that you can actually have things happen to you because of the fear and the power that you gave them with your thoughts. Reading the Bible helped me to understand this. Having a relationship with the Elohim of Yahweh helped me to understand this, that you have more power over them. You shouldn't dabble in that world. You want to speak to somebody, you speak and have a personal relationship with the Elohim of Yahweh. You might call upon the angels. Make sure they're a good angel, not a fallen angel. Again, this comes back to the things that I used to do in my past. I used to do angel healing cards. Now, the messages on those, when I used to read them, I used to think in my head, I'm not calling out to these angels. I'll just read what the message says to help me heal myself, but I'll call upon God. But how many people read those cards and call out to those angels exactly how those cards say? Little do you know, half those angel healing cards are fallen angels. So there, you're creating a portal again to the demons and the fallen angels. That's another way for them to cling and hold on to you. Because then you start thinking that you've got to do these cards in order to heal, or you've got to live your life exactly how they say. That brings me back to tarot cards. It was all a part of the mind. Tarot cards, though, when you deal them up, okay, you are connecting with the demons and so forth, and they may give you answers into what to say to the other person. And really, it's about listening to the other person and then reflecting back what they're saying. And people will bite and they'll give you more information and they'll help you to see what you need to say to them. It's all about reading a person. You might get the information, but who are you getting that from? Because in the Bible, it says not to do that. So, again, you're calling on the fallen angels and the demons to get this information. And how is that information helping the person? Because I was taught with tarot cards, when you do them, don't live your life based on what you're seeing in the reading. It's a guide, a maybe if you wanted to, but you can change what's happening. But there are some people that actually get caught up in this world and believe exactly those cards are predicting their life. And that's bullshit, because your life is subjective to your thoughts. So you don't let those cards, which was created by a fallen angel and demons, because they end up having power over you and over your thoughts. Another way of controlling you. So you got to ask yourself, do you want cards to have control over your life and to control how you think and how you feel? Or would you rather, because you're trying to seek something in the supernatural which has actually been hidden from you, and that is a relationship with the Elohim of Yahweh, the Father, the Son, and the Ruach, the Holy Spirit. A personal relationship, a guide inside your head to help you choose the best things for you in life and to see you find your happiness the best way that they can. Sometimes those lessons can be hard. Zach! Sometimes those lessons can be hard, but sometimes the lessons are worth learning.